Well, John, firstly, any further reflections on the Swansea game at the weekend?
Nothing really, other than what we thought after the game. Watched the game back and thought it was a really dominant display in the first half. We restricted Swansea to very few chances, and the most frustrating thing was conceding just before half time. And I think the game clearly changed in the second half. It was very, very difficult for us at times, but we dug in really well to take the point. So I'm pretty happy with that overall, and I think there's loads of areas in the improvement of the performance we can improve.
What's the next step for you and your side now?
Bristol City at the weekend. I think we've got. We've got a lot of. I think there are a lot of mitigating factors that we look at with the second half performance of the weekend. I think we looked like a side that hadn't played in 3 weeks in terms of the freshness in the first half, and then probably the fatigue in the second half without that run of games and that really being in a match fitness. Probably caught up with us, and I think there were a few factors there with players coming back from injuries as well. So I think it's been a really good week to get that back under our belts, to get the 90 minutes for some players back, back and under their belts, and then make sure that we train well this week to get on with a really big week that we've got coming up this week.
In terms of the performance, though, what do you need to see now, and how can you build on that Swansea game?
I think there were some really positive aspects of the way that we pressed and the way that we took our 2 goals in the first half. I think that we need to definitely build on being a bit better when we do win the ball back. I think there were large parts of our out of possession game that were really good. The press was well structured and we won the ball high up, and I think there were just too many opportunities where we won it back, and maybe the first pass we didn't get off, and we didn't then build anything off the back of that, and it became, particularly in the second half when we won the ball back, we ended up defending again and again, and a lot of the time that's too difficult. So we need to really make sure that when we do work as hard as we've worked to win the ball back, we either create something off the back end of it or have a spell of possession. So I think that's probably the biggest takeaway I think from the weekend. We still want to make sure that we do what we did really well at the weekend out of possession, particularly in the first half, and probably just build on a few bits in possession to make sure that we create a bit more.
And a bit more of a structured week this week. Will that sort of help things going into the weekend?
Yeah, I think so. It was a really strange week going into the game. I think that if we'd known that we didn't have the games, we can obviously change things around in terms of the training, and I'm getting a bit more into the lads. I think that was probably the hardest thing actually was the fact that we went into the Swansea game, we felt a little bit undercooked because of the fact that we'd had so many prep days for these games without actually training properly and training hard, with the anticipation we were going to play on the Saturday, anticipation we were going to play on the Wednesday. So to get the game under our belts, like I said, was much more beneficial for us physically than it would have been otherwise, and I think that was proved at the weekend. So having that more structured week and knowing that we can go heavy on the lads Tuesday, Wednesday, we've got the day off tomorrow on Thursday, and then a bit of a light day to build into the game Saturday is going to be really beneficial.
In terms of injuries, what's the latest with Cass and Mark?
Cass unfortunately has got a knee ligament injury, so he's going to be out for about 9 to 10 weeks. At the minute he's in a brace, stopping his knee from flexing or extending at all, and that's a real shame. That injury that he picked up on international duty with Australia when he played against Bahrain, picked it up during the game, and one of those where sometimes with ligament injuries with the knee you can finish the game, and that's what Cass did, and it's unfortunately swelled up after, and we've got the scan results of that. So really unfortunate there. Mark's gone for a scan today. We don't think it's anything too serious, but he's just feeling his oblique a little bit, and we're going to have to make sure that he's okay before he returns to training. So very unlikely that he'll be fit for the weekend.
Bristol City, one of those sides who have consistently competed in the Championship. They're up next. What do you expect from them? How do you analyse them? Yeah,
I think a really well-established, consistent Championship team. We've been in the league, I think, for around 10 years now, since being promoted from League One. So there's a lot of solidity and consistency there. I think that from the games that we've seen over the past few weeks, certainly a really good performance against Plymouth at home, where they won 4-0 at the weekend. And I went to the Watford game on Tuesday night before that, where, to be honest, I thought Bristol City were the better side. I thought they came away from that game against a Watford side that are flying high, really unlucky not to win it and really unlucky not to score more. So I think a side that are littered with really, really good Championship players, some excellent options off the bench as well, really well structured, really well coached, and I think that we've got a really tough game on our hands.
And back at Fratton Park, where you'll want to pick up that momentum from the Preston game, which feels like probably quite a while ago now.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing for us, regardless of who we play, and every time we come up against a side in the Championship, we're saying a lot of the same things in terms of sides having a lot of experience, having a lot of really good players at the level and being really well coached, and this is no different. But I think coming to Fratton Park is something that hopefully is going to be an advantage to us, and we managed to use that in the right way against Preston, probably for the first time this season in terms of our performance, reflecting what we the support that we've had off the pitch. And I thought the performance was really reflective of that, and we got the win and the performance that we really deserved. So I'm really pleased with that. We wanted that home game on against Millwall because we thought it was going to be some a chance to build up really good momentum again, but we're back at home. I think there's probably a lot of pent up frustration from the fans who haven't seen a home game in a long time, and they'll be really looking forward to back-to-back home games on Saturday and Tuesday night, and I think that's something we really need to capitalise on.